I took a week off, I am refreshed, and I am back with more hot takes. A special thank you to my patrons, Acrophobe Christina, Wild Rose, J.M. Beans, Jay Thomas, Lauren Chris, Michael B. Petty, That British Unicorn, Sky Andropolis, Debbie Elliott, D. Higgins, Juliet Q, and Kate O. Alright, I know I was gone for a couple of weeks, so sadly this is going to be a couple of videos. We are going to split this bad boy up into two. I would have been able to condense this down into one, but once more, she's been live so much. There's just so many videos, and even if I go only a couple points that I wanted to talk about in them, it's going to end up being very, very long. And then once more, it'll just be so difficult for me to edit. Have mercy on my soul. That's why 2 videos, one for last week, one for this week, and then we'll be all caught up. Yay! Though knowing her and knowing how often I am late in uploading these videos, I'm always going to be at least like one Chantal video behind, especially if it's alive. All right, she was very, very prolific this week. I think it was like 12 videos or something like that. And so it was a lot of stuff to watch. Most of them, once again, were lives, though we got more like pre-recorded, edited videos than we did like last week, which is a good thing. I tend to like her pre-recorded stuff a little bit more. First of all, it tends to be shorter. It's just easier to watch. And for the lives, I think I said it before, I tend to just skip through and I'll stop like every once in a while, like every 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll just see what she's doing and talking about. So there's always going to be stuff that I miss. If it's a short enough live, like it's only like an hour or something like that, I'll watch it the whole way through. But if it's like 4 hours, even if it's 1.5 hours, but she's had like 4 of them in a week, unless I devoted all of my time to doing this, I just would not be able to. Meh.
Goodness. Come on, and be more again.
All right, first things first. I like her. I like well, not her as a person, but I like her clothes. I like how she looks in this. She looks cute. I like the straight hair. I like the sweater. The combination of them makes her look very adorable. I like it. And I know what you guys are going to say, that Chantal's fat and therefore she's not pretty, but that's not true. I think Chantal's very conventionally attractive. She just happens to be a garbage monster.
I didn't go to the ER. Hi, grade 5. Thank you. Yes, Mama Sauce. How are you? Give Kristen lots of love for me. I didn't go. Thank you, Muncie. He's beezing. That's why it's Beeswalk. Thanks, grade 5. What I did was I made an appointment. I did get in touch with my doctor. I was able to make an appointment. Oh, hi, DE. Sorry. If anyone feels ignored, it's not because I'm doing it on purpose. So I made an appointment at 3 p.m. And I'm gonna ask if I have to go to the ER. If they say yes. Hi, Annie! Yay! Everyone's here. Well, mostly everyone. Victoria and Mike are missing. If not, then I'll just like get her to do tests and stuff. Hi, Denise.
All right, so she's got a diagnosis of vasculitis, potentially. And rather than doing the thing that her doctor told her to, which is going to the ER so they can assess it, she's decided, from the urgent care, she's decided and said she's going to go to her family doctor, see what the family doctor says. And if the family doctor also concurs, then she's going to go into the ER and see what they can do. This is a bad idea. For the most part, I'm cool with people getting like a second opinion from a doctor, but with something like vasculitis that can increase the risk of strokes, I really think it should be addressed right away, especially because Chantal is a morbidly obese lady who has a ton of other comorbidities. So her likelihood of having something wrong with her tends to rise, and it going sideways tends to rise exponentially with her weight. So, I personally would not risk it, but then I'm not Chantal.
Not actually down there yet.
I'm just going to put you here while I eat. Well, I said I dropped it off.
Means he's probably just like pulling in.
You probably dropped it off at the wrong house. Hair. Ooh, baby, I love your way.
They're probably just looking for the right house.
There's nobody?
Huh?
There's nobody coming?
No, no car outside.
He said he dropped it off. I might have to end the stream and text them.
We'll give it a few more minutes.
No, I'm gonna get a refund if they don't bring it, and then I have to wait again for the pizza.
Sometimes they text that it's delivered before they actually drop it off.
This was like an actual text message, though.
Wow.
From the guy. They probably sent... Oh, did I enter the right address? Pizza Heist. Where's my friggin' pizza? Look at BBJ. No. Oh. You think that I went to my uncle's? No, I didn't use skip the dishes there. Because he lives in like the middle of nowhere, so... Imagine it went to BB's. Maybe. I forget what address I picked. I want pizza. Alright, so I just wasted $40. I did have it at the wrong address. It was set to my uncle's address. I don't know why. Maybe because, I was looking. I put his address in to look for options and there weren't any. So, but the address was still on there. So someone is...
So it was user error.
Yeah, so they're gonna come home in like a couple months with like a pizza box. I'm so mad! No, my mom isn't there right now. So...
She orders food in this video, and she's like, she wanted to get a pizza delivered to her house, but she accidentally sent it to her uncle's house, and there's nobody there, so the pizza, she says, she hopes that some animal finds it, and, you know, that'll go to waste. So this is the thing that I find a little funny about this, right? She says that she had entered her uncle's address into here because she was trying to order something, but there was nothing for her to order around, so she just didn't order anything. But in the video that she had put up from her uncle's house, she said that she just wasn't feeling very hungry. And so she was just going to eat some chips and then she was going to go to bed. So which was it? That she was hungry and couldn't order something? Or that she wasn't hungry, only had a few chips and then went to bed? Is it that she couldn't get anything delivered? Or that she didn't want anything and so ate a couple chips and went home? Or is it somewhere in the middle? Which is what I think it is. I think she wanted to get food delivered, couldn't get food delivered there because it was late, because of whatever X, Y, and Z reason. Maybe the road conditions were bad, maybe it was snowing, who knows. She couldn't get the food delivered. And so instead, she went to the kitchen, ate a bunch of her trigger food because that's what would calm her emotionally. And then she went to bed. I mean, we have no proof for anything either way, but I think that's a theory that makes the most amount of sense to me personally.
Oh, that's okay, Shannon. I know Marissa, like, I wanted pizza so bad, so now tomorrow I have to have pizza. So I ordered Subway instead. Because I'm so hungry.
Me. To make up for the fact that she could not get her pizza, she decides to order the saddest of all foods, Subway. Yay! I don't know why anybody would want to eat that voluntarily. Anyway. Next, so she posts 2 videos back to back. This is really funny to me because one is like a workout video and the other one is like mukbanging. It's like she doesn't see the irony between the two. It also like always like weirds me out a little when she puts 2 videos up back to back that both required like a little bit of effort on her part and that are not like lives, because she could have kept one of those videos for a little bit later. I do that. I sometimes film multiple videos together and I know I'll need one later. I might not be able to get one out, or maybe I'll just hold back on it. I'm like, just in case I need it in a little bit, right? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have backup videos. Most of them are retro reacts, but there's a couple of them that are like article reviews and things like that. And I keep them with me specifically for that reason, so that if I've promised you guys content and I really can't get it out and I don't think that it's been like too long, like the entire week I'm not going to be able to get something out, that's when I'll release those videos. I don't know why she doesn't do that. Like, just plan a little bit better, ma'am.
Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey, 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 hey. Welcome to another video. I have Tex-Mex food for you, but that's only because I can't get really good authentic takeout. So, where I am. So, the only thing I can do is get the next best thing, or the third best thing, but c'est la vie, as they say.
Once more, she looks lovely here. I know I said it before too, but I'll say it again. Chantal's a conventionally attractive woman. When she puts the effort into it, she can look really nice. She just never chooses to put any of the effort in. That's her problem. That's why when people are like, oh, you look so gross, she's like, you're fat shaming me. No, it's not because you're fat. You look lovely here and you're still just as fat. You don't look lovely in some of your other videos because you look scrubby and unwashed. Like, I think people should be able to say that.
Beauty bite. Do you miss me even after you've watched my videos? Well, good news. Follow me on Instagram for a lot more of me.
If you couldn't get authentic Mexican, why didn't you make authentic Mexican? There's a lot of recipes out there that are authentic Mexican. You can find like a bajillion of them on the internet, on YouTube even. They'll teach you step by step how to make a certain dish. Why didn't you do any of that? Why are you just settling for garbage food? I mean, that's the entire point behind intuitive eating, right? Is that if you were craving authentic Mexican food, why didn't you just buy the ingredients and make authentic Mexican food?
Whew, it's gonna be messy to eat. Come on. I like easy access to my food. I don't want to work for it.
All right. At this point, she inserts her plug for her Insta, but it is so weirdly and jarringly edited into the video. Like, she does a better job most of the time, which is why it stood out to me. It was just, it's so odd. Why would she put it there?
This is so delicious. I've been craving this, and just my first time eating for the day. Do you ever notice when we're hungry, really actually hungry, everything tastes so amazing, you know?
She wants easy access to food. Truer words have never been spoken. It's why she films all of her videos in her kitchen, even when they're not necessarily food videos, because that's where all the food is. So if she ever wants anything, she could just grab it right away. She doesn't have to wait. She doesn't have to think. She doesn't have to process any of her emotions. It's also why she's never going to do what I tell her, which is that she should delete all of the food ordering apps off of her phone to give her a couple of extra seconds to think her actions through. Ah, yes, the first time she's eating in the day. And also that she was craving this. Both of these are justifications to overeat, by the way. I know this because I myself have used them in the past. I'll wait the whole day to eat, and then when it finally comes time to eat, I know I'm not going to be able to control myself. And if anyone says anything to the contrary as to why I'm eating so much, or even if I think someone is giving me judgment, I can just say, I haven't eaten all day. I'm just so starving. Right? And people won't realize that I have literally been doing this to myself so that I have the excuse to eat all of this massive amount of food all in one sitting. Same thing with I've been craving this. Just saying, I'm hungry. I, wanted to have this. I felt like having this. Isn't enough. You have to be craving it. You have to be needing it. There has to be some sort of existential reason for it. It can't just be, I wanted it, because that's too light. That puts too much of the onus on her to maybe be like, hey, maybe you don't want it. Maybe change something about yourself. But a craving is hard to control. A craving isn't something you can do anything about, right? So since the last time that I spoke here, a lot's happened. For one, my entire filming stuff fell down. I got fed up with everything, so I left. I ate a banana, I had some coffee. And then I sat around on Zillow feeling bad about the fact that I don't live in Ohio where, houses aren't as expensive. Anyway, now I'm back so we can continue. Changed my lip color too, if anyone's wondering. I wasn't feeling the other one.
I saw a recipe, actually, where I got the craving from was I was watching Penguin and the Chef. Well, I was craving Mexican food to begin with. And then I saw Penguin and the Chef. Sorry, I almost spit. Not a good idea. They're a YouTube channel. Go subscribe. Check them out. If you like cooking videos, food videos. They were doing homemade easy Mexican food. And that was Okay, I'm getting some.
So 2 points here. First, they made a homemade easy Mexican dish and it triggered her to want Mexican food. This is why I really strongly recommend that if you're trying to lose weight, don't consume Mexican don't consume a content about food, right? So where people are making food and stuff like that on a regular basis. If you're looking for a specific recipe, it's fine if you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to look up how to do X thing. But don't regularly watch people's content, right? Because what it's going to happen is that it's going to incentivize you to eat that food. That food's going to look delicious. Like, people who know what they're doing, especially on camera, can make something look incredibly tasty. And they're going to make you want to eat it, right? And then you're going to want to eat it. And if you already have issues with food, that might not be a great thing. The second thing is that they made a easy and homemade version of a food. I really wish she had actually done that. I've said before, you know, even for her like fast food stuff, right? Like Joshua Weissman and Binging with Babbage both recreate a lot of like dishes that you would find regularly in a supermarket or at a fast food place. She can try and recreate something like that at home. And then even if she wanted to do like a bite by bite comparison and be like, this is what I think, that would be great. Do you know how much more entertaining it would be? Or just make the dish and then eat it at home. Do you know how much more entertaining that would be for us to watch? And she would burn so many more calories. And generally speaking, people who work for restaurants, who are there employed as chefs and cooks, don't care about your arteries, right? You do. I care about my arteries, which is why when I'm making food at home, if it's something calls for like 3 tablespoons of olive oil, I'll use 1 tablespoon of olive oil or a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. If something calls for deep frying, I'll air fry it. It might not be exactly the same, but it's good enough that I feel like I'm getting the real authentic experience here without the real authentic heart attack that it will probably give me.
I have winter cabin fever. I just don't get the urge to go out like I would in nicer weather. You know what I mean? So, when the weather, like as soon as the weather gets nicer, we are going to be going places and doing things. I mean, like, depending on COVID lockdown, but they're going to be starting to reopen things. But I like going on like little adventures with Pete's. Remember our adventures with Pete's?
She says this, that she's going to, you know, go out places again and stuff like that. She never really went anywhere before, right? Like, it was a lot of like driving around and then sitting in a car and eating. It was a lot of using, going out as an excuse to go eat foods. But there wasn't a lot of actually going places. Like, I think if she wants to do like a creepy pasta or something like that, right? Like, I wouldn't say go anywhere that's dangerous, but what if she like made a whole picnic and then went somewhere like a ravine or something and sat there and had a picnic? What if they went to like a haunted hotel, right? And she walked through the hotel and told us about its history, right? What if something like that? What if she did something like that? Don't you think that would be so much more interesting? And there's a bunch of really beautiful places in Quebec and in the Gatineau Park area that she could explore, right? Even if she was doing travel vlogs, I mean, I still think that it should require more than just sitting in your car and eating food. I would like a if and when I travel again, I will give you guys like a travel vlog, right? I'll give you my version of a travel vlog, which is basically going to different places and then filming partner's food because I have food restrictions and he doesn't. So I'll film like, okay, this is what partner got. This is what I got. It was really good. It was just kind of okay. Or like where we're eating, what the history is, the things that we're doing. And that's what I would love her travel vlogs to be. You can go and eat food in different places. It just can't be only food, you know? Like, it should also be the history of the place, the history of the dish, the different components that went into making it. Or even if it's just a story of what you are doing, right? Like when I travel, yes, food's definitely a part of it. but I don't travel just for food. Are you kidding? I travel for a variety of different reasons. Like one of the biggest places that was very difficult for me food-wise was I'd gone to China, and China was very hard for me food-wise. Between it not being to my taste and my food restrictions, it just made it very difficult. Like for me to basically eat there. Not to say that the food wasn't good. I just mean that I'm very weird about like sweet foods. I don't like a lot of very sweet things in general. And so a lot of the gravies and stuff had like sugar in it to just like a hint of sweetness. And I remember by the end of like my time there, I was just like, I just want to eat one thing that has zero, like no sweetness. I just want like one thing that's savory. And so we got like, I think the last day we just ate like eggs for breakfast, or maybe that was Japan. I can't remember, but because we went to both the countries back to back. I can't remember which part of the trip this happened, but it definitely, I felt like, I'm like, everything is sweet. And I was really over it. I was also suffering from like hormonal, like that's kind of when my hormonal stuff had started and I didn't actually realize it. So I wasn't feeling 100%. I've gotten way sidetracked. What I mean to say is there should be more happening than just showing up in a place, talking a little bit about it, and then eating it as fast as you can in a car. You know, that's just sad and boring. Talk about the place, talk about the history, talk about the people, give us more information.
Sometimes I have nightmares of trying to park my car downtown New York. Must be a nightmare. Has anyone had experience with that?
This is an issue that's very near and dear to my heart, so let me just give you a piece of advice, something that I learned the hard way. Don't park in New York City. The rules are ridiculous and they're almost never very clear, and people will park all over the place even knowing that they'll get a ticket and assuming that cops won't ticket them. Or I genuinely don't understand. Some of it just seems very arbitrary. Either way, it is not worth it to me to take a car into New York City. I've been to New York more times than I can count, and it is awful every time I've had to drive there. It's easier for me to park in like Hackensack or like across the river and then like take the train into New York and then just use the subway or like Uber or Lyft or whatever is available. I'll just do that. Or honestly, the best way to really see New York is to walk it. It's not like easy a lot of the times because people there drive like absolute maniacs, but it is genuinely the best way to see the city. And you get to smell all of the food that's being cooked, and it's one of my best parts of New York, is the smell of the cooking food. The worst part of New York is the smell of pee. New York smells like pee. Okay? It just does. And anyone who tells you otherwise is lying.
Sometimes I would just order the queso and chips as like a meal.
Of course she loves queso and cheese as a meal. It's got all the things that Chantal loves. Fat that her stomach can't handle and carbs that her diabetes don't need.
I barely made a dent in those. See if Pete's wants some, because he does like tortilla chips, but we'll see. Since I ordered something he doesn't like, I'll cook him something.
So she says she's going to cook him something, which I find very funny because she wasn't willing to cook herself something. And I know what that something's going to be. It's going to be those Freshly meals, you know, the healthy, balanced Freshly meals that she's been getting, that she's forcing Pete's to eat because she herself wants to continue eating the garbage that she's eating now. Yay. Anyway, next. All right, this is her, it's labeled as an exercise video, but it's got a very OnlyFans vibe to it. I'm not going to put it on my channel because there are underaged channels that watch me, and I don't want to be responsible for that. What if I taint their minds and they start uploading inappropriate content? No way, Jose. But also, genuinely, it made me a little like, it made me just very weird. It was something about the sustained eye contact. And once more, whatever floats your goat. If you like bigger ladies, then hey, like your bigger ladies. Have fun. Who am I to tell you what you should and should not like? But for me personally, I was a little bit tricked into it, and then I watched the whole thing out of like morbid curiosity, and I was just very like, I don't know, made me feel a certain way, and I didn't like feeling like that. A better channel to talk about this, who did actually talk about this, was who am I thinking of? Milk Tea Reacts. She covered this very well. And so I'm going to recommend you watch her take on it because she talked about it in like greater detail than I can cover. Who am I thinking of? Oh, Smokey Steve and Mark talked about it in their recap, and I think he did a pretty good job. So I would recommend that you guys watch that one because I just feel a little uncomfortable. The one thing I will say here is that she says right at the beginning of the video, she goes, I, generally just do this in private, but I thought I would film it for you guys. I don't believe that, even a little bit. And the reason I don't believe that is, one, we have seen literally like a week where we'll get like 50 hours of content from her, right? Like so much content that it's actually mind-boggling. And in all that time, we've never once seen her do anything like that. And Chantal puts pretty much everything up on the internet. So if it's not there, I doubt that it's a thing that she's doing. But secondarily, she says that, she does it for a few songs. And even then, we see her stop like a couple times in the middle of her routine, right? And you can tell just by the way that she's moving, just by the way that she has to stop so often, and by the fact that she's for some ungodly reason wearing fishnets to exercise, that she clearly does not do this very often. Because if she did, all of those would be things that she would not do. Last but not least, she sits on the bouncy ball and she like bounces up and down like this. I look inappropriate doing it. It gave me like hardcore Freely vibes, which is not something I expected from Chantal. But the other thing that it kind of made me think was that I don't think Chantal realizes what is and is not exercise. If you are a heavier lady, especially if you're like at Chantal's weight or higher, or even if you're just at like 300 or higher, I would really recommend that you consult a PT or look up like videos online for people who are like specially making exercises for like very heavy individuals before you do things. Because if you're not careful, you can do some serious damage. So like she does this one where she's like on the floor and she's doing leg lifts, right? I don't know what they're, not cat cows, but whatever. The hydrant thing, I used to do something similar. But she's doing these moves and she's putting so much pressure on the one knee that's on the ground and both of her wrists, right? Chantal's a really heavy lady and she's not used to exercise. If Chantal ever injures one of her like limbs, like her legs especially, and she becomes immobile, she's gonna gain so much weight so very, very fast, and I don't think she will ever become mobile again. So I really worry about that, and I would worry about that for anyone who's at that weight. So if you are that heavy, please see if you can talk to a PT, and if you can't afford a PT, if you can't see them because your insurance won't allow it, talk to your doctor. Swimming is a great one for people if you're like of a much heavier build. I know right now with COVID that might be a little hard. Look up some YouTube videos. Just don't do whatever like somebody who's maybe like 200 pounds lighter would do. It's not safe for you, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. Also, sitting on a bouncy ball is just not exercise. It engages your core, but you still have to do something with your engaged core. You know what I mean? It's like you're now in the best position to take advantage of the exercise, but if you're not actually doing the exercise, the ball itself is not going to magically help you get abs. Like, God, Chantal's just so... I don't even have words right now. This video made me very uncomfortable. Anyway, next.
I did a video call with my doctor. My dance workout. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. But, yeah, I'm going to probably do more dances. Like, I've been looking up fun dances to do. I want to do the Beetlejuice dance like I said I was going to do. Pink print. Hello. Thanks, Zena. She doesn't think that it's vasculitis. So it's two doctors telling me different things. Thanks, Duran. Hi, Carissa. She thinks it's like something granuloma, skin something, and I probably need to get a skin biopsy done.
The first thing she says is that it's not vasculitis and her doctor doesn't know what it is. Chantal has so many different complicating factors, like she has so many comorbidities. It could be from anything. Honestly, it could be from anything. But the way that she's itching at it makes me think that she might have eczema, but I'm also not an expert and I don't know. I have eczema, fun fact. And I get like, it's really funny because the place where I get eczema the most are like right in my tear ducts and on my face. So if you guys ever see like especially texture like right here, that's what it tends to be. And I get it very, very often. I'll have little patches. Like even right now, I have it right between my eyebrows and in my eyebrows themselves too. I have eczema happening. It's how it is. I don't get it anywhere where like the usual suspects for eczema tend to occur, right? Like the joints and like my neck, my body. I have no eczema, just my face. She could have something like that. She could have eczema because that's what my eczema looks like when I get it too. It becomes really flaky and then it gets dark. So maybe it's that. I don't know. I'm not diagnosing her. I just mean I feel for the doctors, right? And I've talked at length before. I'll link a video up here about how difficult it is for doctors to diagnose people when they are that heavy because it can be a multitude of things, right? If you remove some of the factors, it makes it easier for a doctor to be like, okay, since none of these things are an issue, all of a sudden it must be this, right? It's like take a rash, for example, right? There can be 50 different things that can cause a rash, including, fun fact, anthrax. But if you say live in a hermetically sealed bubble, then you're like, okay, so it cannot be anthrax because you've never come in contact with anthrax. What non-anthrax related reason could it be that you have a rash, right? And they can rule stuff out like that. But when you're that heavy, stuff that's not an issue for other people becomes an issue for you. For example, infections in your skin folds. That's not a thing that most people have. I don't have an issue with that because I don't have any folds in my skin, right? Well, I mean, I have folds in my skin. Everyone has folds, but you know what I mean, right? I don't have like a layer that I have to pay specific attention to. Thank God. She does. And I don't know about her hygiene, but given her Cheeto torpedo story, I'm not very hopeful.
Thanks. They're so good. Oh my God, Laura. I did undercook them, so when they set, they're going to be chewy. They did run into each other, but I'm going to separate them slowly, and it should be all right. Yeah. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Don't worry.
So we talking your cookies?
Come on. Come on. Separated. One is all misshapen, but they're hot still. Ow, the chocolate. Check this out, guys. Ooh, la 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 la.
The only other thing I have to say in this entire video is that those cookies look very, very yellow, and I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's the lighting? If someone knows, please do let me know. They look very soft. I don't know. I don't like soft food. I like those, if you guys have ever had those, Tate's Bake Shop, they're like the twice baked crunchy cookies. Oh my God, those are dangerous. I cannot keep them in the house. I will just eat like the whole thing. Once more, they are a road trip food for me. So if I'm going on a road trip, I'll buy like a thing of it so I can eat it. But otherwise, nope, they stay out of my house so that I can stay healthy and safe. Anyway, next.
Don't be offended, please. If you are, send me an email and I'll talk to you personally. But it's really nothing personal. I still love you guys so much. And you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, you know, like I pretty much just went with the ones I've had for a while. I don't know. I don't, it's not that deep, I promise. But some people might be offended. So I just want, if you are, just email me, okay? So this is Cheetos mac and cheese, the jalapeno one. We don't have this. They don't sell this in Canada. I had to get this from a special site.
Okay, she's eating a whole ass box of like Cheetos flavored mac and cheese. The noodles look dry. They also don't look that great. I like mac and cheese, but I'm once more, I don't know why I say this in every video, but I have a weird textural thing. So like a lot of the boxed mac and cheeses, I can taste the powder in them, but secondarily, they have a weird textural thing. Like they have some like coating or whatever they put on there to make it like I don't really know, but it gets like congealy really fast and it just grosses me out. I mean, not to sound like too fancy of a bitch, but I like the restaurant made ones, you know, where they have like the bechamel sauce and then they'll add that to the noodles. And that is very good. Mac and cheese is delicious, but only like the homemade one. Oh my God, I have a friend. She makes the best mac and cheese. She made it once for a party and it had like, she put a layer of veggies on top, right? And they were like roasted veggies. And then she put like a buttered crumb and then she roasted the whole thing. Oh, it was so delicious. So good. And I think she used like 4 pounds of cheese. It was like a big tray for a party, right? She used like 4 pounds of cheese in that thing. I think by weight, it was like half cheese. It was amazing.
Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom, unfortunately. The mac and cheese is, it's not the mac and cheese upsetting my stomach, because think about it. Your food doesn't digest in 2 minutes, right? So it's gotta be, what I think it is when I eat something, no matter what it is, it triggers that response from your body to avoid stuff, which is really weird.
Okay, so she has an upset stomach, but it's not the food. It's not the very high fat food that she ate when she doesn't have a gallbladder. Curious how things like this just keep happening to her when she eats non-gallbladder friendly foods. And she's just like, oh yeah, but it's not the food, right? It's everything but the food. It's some infection, some disease, something else I have. Not the food though. You can't change the food. Everything else needs to change instead.
Do your sexy workouts on OnlyFans? I should. Maybe I will. And hey, if there's people who are feeders and they want to pay money to watch me move around, that's fine with me. Whatever floats your boat. But I'm not going to do it just for that. You know, I'm not going to be funneling ice cream or anything. I'm just going to probably do like exercises and try-ons and things. You know?
All right, Chantal's considering OnlyFans. This is late, so we probably have more clarity at this point of what's happened to her OnlyFans. From where I stand and where I'm filming this, she's either gone ahead and deleted her OnlyFans or she's still trying to struggle through it somehow. But it is a struggle bus right now. We'll get more into it a little bit later. Also, I did a video about whether or not Chantal should even start one. I'll link that up above. Anyway, next.
Guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what, guys? No more boxes.
So 2 things. She got rid of the Hoard. She had people come out. I think she said she paid like $400 or something like that to come out and remove all of her boxes. I am a very cheap person. The idea of paying somebody that much money to do a job that I could do myself like galls at me. But I'm not going to be too hard on her on that. I'm glad that she at least got someone to come out and do it, because sometimes the shame of it can keep people from like asking for help. So I'm glad that she asked somebody for help. I'm glad that they came out, and I hope she doesn't let it get that bad again. I actually had very different thoughts on that when she first mentioned having somebody come out. I think I was very judgmental about it. And then a creator that I really, really like, for Harriet's Kimberly Nicole Foster, or maybe it's Nicole Kimberly Foster. I'm really bad at names and I'm mildly dyslexic, so I mix them up sometimes. I'll link her channel as well up above. She does amazing content talking about just the struggles of people. She talks a lot about like socioeconomic issues, political issues, Black identity, and she's just a fantastic creator overall. And so she talked about how she got dragged on Twitter for being a hoarder, and the feelings that she expressed in that really helped me empathize with Chantal a lot more than I think I would have without them. So if you guys like want to watch it, I really recommend it. Once more, it's going to be linked up above. Do give it a watch. I think that you guys will get something out of it as well. So I'm glad she called someone. I'm glad that the boxes are gone. That nook it could be like a really great filming area. She could put up her green screen there if she wanted, make it just like a little cubby, or she could even put up like shelving there and she could make it kind of like a backdrop, or she could put like a nice chair. She could sit in the chair, make a video, even have like a table that she can roll like away from her and bring it back up to her. It could be a really nice thing. I don't know if she will, because she doesn't often tend to utilize things, but she could really make good use of that space, and then she wouldn't have like all of her videos being filmed in the kitchen. Still close enough, but not directly in the kitchen, you know? And then she could also just have to clean that place so people wouldn't like drag her for having a gross space.
These are not bruises. We don't know what they are. It's suspected either vasculitis or some kind of skin granuloma. My family doctor now wants me to go for ooh, it looks like it's flaring up. I don't know why. For a skin biopsy. It's not eczema, it's not ringworm. The skin doctor already, I almost wish it was something that you could cure with a cream, you know?
Her skin does look pretty awful right now. Once more, I don't know what it is. I would just, you know, it just looks like eczema to me, but I don't know anything about it. I feel bad for her. Like, shit like that can be very, very irritating. The couple of times that I've had like a rash or something like that, and I'm really bad, I'll just scratch and scratch and scratch at it even when I'm sleeping until like I'm bloody. So I like really empathize with her for that. Not for everything, because a lot of stuff Chantal does is garbage, but I get how that can really suck.
So, I have some news as well. I'm going to be starting an OnlyFans. Probably, more than likely. And I'm going to be ordering some nice workout equipment. Some sexy lingerie stuff. It's not going to be sex. But I'm also going to do some different kinds of... I'm going to maybe do some mukbangs on there. Going to maybe do some... story times, but they're going to be really explicit. Like I can go into details that I can't on here, you know? So I could tell you what the guys mean. I can tell you all about the stuff, you know? So that's what I'm going to do.
She's 100% starting OnlyFans. Yikes. Well, all right. Everything that I have to say about that is up above. So, yeah.
But you can't screenshot, and the OnlyFans is really good. If people steal your content and post it elsewhere, they'll take it right down. So just warning you guys. $5.
Content jacking and posting it to other websites. 100% it's going to get leaked. I don't know why she doesn't understand that. It doesn't matter what OnlyFans does. There's only so much they can do. And even if they do, right? Like, once something has been on the internet, it's on the internet forever. The internet is forever. If you have any kind of notoriety, then people are going to have a copy of that. So you shouldn't put yourself in a position where you put something out there that you don't want people to see. You should be 100% aware that stuff like this can be leaked. I think she changed her channel name. It was Okay Let's Talk before, but I think it's Kelly's Thoughts now. I'll link her video on this topic, and she also talked about her experience as an OnlyFans creator and being in the sex work industry, and I think it's very, very illuminating. She did a much better job than even I could, so I recommend that.
I hate these containers though. Styrofoam. Hi, Sam. You want to look outside? Hold on. Here. 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 All right, guys, let's eat dinner. My first meal. Yes.
And then she eats. Who would have seen that coming, right? Next. All right, she does a creepypasta. I have a lot of issues with this video. The Delphi murders are not... There is not a lot of things in this world that I think would break me as a person. But, like, you know, if I think that if I ever lost a child, that would be one of them. And both of these ladies were really young. And when you've got living victims, and I do consider the families of both of them to also be victims, right? You have to be very careful and you have to be very sensitive about what you say and what you do. If you guys want a much better video, I know I'm recommending a lot of creators, but I don't want to take credit for somebody's idea when it wasn't mine. So I'm going to link up above Sarah from Aphrodite's Peaches, her video on the Delphi murders. And then I'm also going to link once more Kelly's thoughts up above as well. Her video was also very well done. Both of them talked about what the issues with this video were. This is not a good look. You want to cover murders? God, why don't you cover the old ones? Cover the Unabomber. Cover the, like, stuff like that. People who will not be impacted. These two ladies have living, breathing family. And if you guys want to talk about, like, covering people, like, living people currently who could be impacted by stuff like this, I would recommend, if you guys are interested in true crime, reading books by Anne Rule, in particular, Small Sacrifices. Very, very well done, very meticulously done, and with a lot of sensitivity to the people who suffered. This is not appropriate. And her treatment of it just makes me feel like she lacks empathy for other human beings. And last but not least on this video, very, very small topic. She makes like a viral TikTok pasta thing. I actually made that, but I made mine with goat cheese because feta is super, super salty and goat cheese, I just like it better. And it turned out very delicious. Same amount of goat cheese as Dave recommended. I think it was like a 4-ounce log, but half the amount of tomatoes so it wouldn't get too sour. And I use a lot less pasta. That just looks so dry. And I use penne. So then you get like the secret sauce in the middle, which is like the best part. Anyway, that was a very small, ridiculous thing at the end about her pasta. But for the most part, this video was very distasteful and I did not like it. I really wish she would stop doing creepy pastas if she cannot cover them with the kind of like delicacy that true crime requires. Next. Hey, hi, hello. I guess you guys are probably wondering, hey, what happened? Where is your face? We know you have one. Show it to us. I don't know what happened with my camera. If you guys couldn't tell throughout this entire video with the shots changing slightly and my makeup changing midway through, I had a lot of issues on this day filming, and for some reason, the entire outro for my video is just gone. I was actually talking about one more video, the Saturday Night Live that she did, so that I would cover the entire week, but it's all disappeared and I'm not going to refilm just that one section for this video. I'll instead tack it on to part 2, which at this point I think might be Wednesday or Tuesday, something like that. Anyway, what I wanted to say was it's been pretty much of a garbage fire week, though with her Hoard removed from her house, she seemed to have gained a lot of energy. She decides to go forward with her OnlyFans. We know, of course, at this point how the OnlyFans debacle turns out. We'll cover that more in depth in my follow-up video. But still, this gave her a lot of that mental prep and a lot of that mental energy that we had all said that she would gain from having a clean house. Your environment impacts your mood impacts your environment. It's how it is. So working on one will inevitably help the other. Anyway, that's kind of a good thing, I thought, until I saw that she was going to go forward with OnlyFans from using that energy and putting it towards OnlyFans. I would have thought merch would have been a better idea. She has a few sayings and she has like, it will give her literally like 0 negative things. You know what I mean? Like creating merch would just give her revenue. And it's something that once, she doesn't really even have to work on again and again. Unlike with OnlyFans where she'd have to keep putting in the effort. I don't really understand her thinking process, so I have no idea why she chose OnlyFans and not, creating t-shirts or something like that. But whatever. Anyway, that will be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below if there's something you'd like me to really, really know. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and hit the notification bell, and hit all when you want to know when I upload any video right away. Oh, also, give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Both are totally okay, and I respect everybody's opinions here. I've got all my social medias linked down below. I've got Instagram where I've got all my food stuff and my life stuff, and I'm putting back stuff up there again now, like slowly. I'm doing like stories right now, but I'll put probably like content that stays as well eventually. I've got Twitter where I'm a little bit toxic and a little bit petty, but I'm also the most entertaining there. So if you guys are like curious about all the stuff I have to say that isn't Chantal and Amber, follow me on there. I have all of my opinions on display, and also it's like the easiest place to interact with me. And I've got Patreon. Think of Patreon as the tip jar for the internet. So if you like the job that I'm doing here and you'd like me to continue, hey, consider tossing a few coins in my direction. You don't have to. It's not necessary. But if you did, I'd really appreciate it. As always, I'm Jasmine, the sequel. And I am not mess that up. And I am not relatable. Peace